does this really mean for Putin?
Well, what it means for Putin is less important than what it means for the rest of us. Either he'll be deposed and handed over, or he'll disappear into Russia, or he'll die. Who knows? He may or may not be tried. That's not as important as the fact that this registers that the world's only international criminal court has found enough evidence to categorize this man as a criminal, and thus to make clear in official terms that which the rest of us have known for a long time and rather regret it hasn't been said earlier. This is a criminal trial, a criminal war led by a criminal. And that's going to have a very broad effect for the rest of us. What effect it has on Putin, we don't know.
It's worthwhile a bit of context for people who are just joining us, because this broke in the last hour. We covered it at the top. But if you are just joining us, this is in relation to the ICC believing it has strong evidence that Vladimir Putin and his Children's Rights Commissioner have unlawfully deported Ukrainian children into Russia, put them into camps or put them up for adoption amongst the Russian population. They have been accused, and the Ukrainians are trying to say that this is a form of genocide. How do you feel about that?
Well, that's a wholly different question. Genocide is always much harder to prove because it requires proof in the mind of the alleged offending génocideur, a very particular state of mind. And people have to remember that genocide, although it's said to be the world's worst crime, is not necessarily worse or more serious than the same acts committed as crimes against humanity or war crimes. So we shouldn't get too bogged down in genocide. However, there are many ways in which, or there are 5 ways in which genocide can be committed, and one of them is the transferring of children. So although no such a particular crime, I think, has ever been proved, well, very few genocides have been proved, it may be that in due course, the International Criminal Court will expand the present arrest warrant, or the present proposed indictment on which the arrest warrant is based, to include genocide by transfer of children. But not yet. And I think we should focus, because it's so valuable, on what's already there rather than complicating the issue.
Can I just get in your... I mean, you've got a direct relevance in this, hugely so, because you were the lead prosecutor at the former Serbian President Slobodan Milosevic's trial. I think a lot of people thought that he may never face justice. The same, I think, is the general attitude when it comes to Putin now at the minute. Do you think that Putin will ever find himself in The Hague?
I have no better idea about that than you or your political commentators. The way that Milosevic found himself indicted was because there was a change of regime in Belgrade, and the successor regime found it appropriate to hand him over. Now, that could happen in Russia, but whether it will or not is something that your political commentators, I think, would far better to tell you about than I am. I'm not going to stray outside what limited knowledge I have.